What's up, everybody? Welcome to our junior high interactive family experience. My name is Pastor Ethan. Thanks so much for participating with the family today. Did you know that summer is officially here? Well, technically it was here as of June 20th, so we're a little late, but you must be so excited. I mean, no more school. It's over, done, finished. You don't have to think about it for at least 2 more months. Guys, though, for real, you deserve a summer break. I mean, this past school year was a rough one. In person and on-site and then online and then a hybrid of both and then back online. I honestly don't know how you made it out alive. So congrats to everyone who finished the year strong. Enjoy your summer. Well done, LakePoint Junior Highers. Well done. Now, if you haven't heard yet, there's more exciting news to share. LakePoint Junior High is both on-site and online. You now have the option to join us on-site here at the church for in-person junior high. We are so excited to see your face. I mean, yes, you've seen mine every week on your screen, but I haven't seen yours. All I've seen is a camera and my friend Cody who films me every week. So today and next week and in weeks to come, I get to see your face and I am so happy about that. Now, if you're planning to stay home and enjoy junior high at home, nothing is going to change for you in terms of content and how you currently experience our interactive family experiences. But we do want to extend an invitation to you and the family to join us on site. If you have younger kiddos, LakePoint Kids opened today, June 27th for grades 1 to 5, and the nursery, preschool, and JKSK rooms will be opening next week, July 4th. So we want to give you a warm invitation to rejoin us on site as our family ministries reopen. All right, let me tell you what you can expect for junior high today. We're going to fill out an online connection card, so parents, get your smartphones ready. We're going to have some friendly family competition. We're going to head into a brand new series called Movement. And then all throughout our teaching video today, you are going to pause and have some great discussions. Now, I just want to remind all of our parents watching this morning that you are the ones who will be leading those discussions today. And the discussion questions can be found and downloaded from an email I sent out yesterday. And you can also find them in our junior high Facebook group. If you didn't get that email, or if you haven't joined our Facebook group, make sure you let me know and I can get you on the mailing list and added to our group. This is the best way to do these interactive experiences, by leading those discussions with your student. In fact, it's the entire reason why we do this every week, so that you can have a clearer window into the spiritual development of your student and to create a space where you're helping them grow into everything God created them to be. So, if you need to pause the video and go download those discussion guides, please do so now. We're about to get into our series, but before we do, we want to hear from you. We want to stay connected and check in, and so we have something called the connection card where we can do that. The connection card is found right on the main page of the LakePoint app. And so we would love if you would take the next 60 seconds and fill out the card. It's basically like signing our guest book and letting us know you were here. Thanks for completing the connection card and signing our guest book. Now, every week here at Junior High, we have some friendly family competition. And today, we're going to put your knowledge of animals to the test. Interesting. All right, this challenge is called Name That Group. You see, most people know the names of common animal groups. For example, a bunch of puppies is called a litter. In this challenge, however, your knowledge of lesser known animal groups will be put to the test as you go head to head in a race to name that group. We will put each question up on the screen with 3 answers. Only one answer is the correct one. The person who guesses the correct answer first gets a point. We have a total of 9 questions, and here we go with question number 1. All right, how did you do? How many did you guess right? If you would let me know by taking the next 2 minutes to post a photo in our LakePoint Junior High Facebook group, you will have the chance to win a Tim Hortons gift card. Or if you don't have Facebook, you can just email me at ethan@lakepoint.church. All right, we're gonna switch gears and head into the teaching portion of junior high, and we are headed into our brand new series. I'm so excited about it. Check it out.
not gonna work. All right, have you ever seen a movement? A movement is a group of people working together. A group of people doing the same thing with a common goal. If you've joined in the latest viral TikTok trend or campaigned for someone to be elected class president at your school, or even joined a small group here in our student ministry, then you've been a part of a movement. In fact, let me tell you a little bit about a movement that I've been part of. When I was in middle school, I was in this club called Shout, and it was a leadership club, and a ton of my friends were in it with me too. We would meet after school to hang out. But we would also do a lot of service projects and plan events for our school together. We had so much fun, and so much of what I remember about middle school included being part of Shout. Maybe you hear stories like mine and think, that's cool, I'd love to be part of a movement like that. But others of you might be thinking, what's the big deal? I mean, what's so great about being part of something like that? Well, that's what we're gonna talk about over the next couple of weeks. Because whether we realize it or not, movements have the potential to make big changes in our lives and the lives of others. The movement that we're a part of here at church is following Jesus. And even if you're not sure what this whole faith thing is about, stick with me, because it's actually a pretty big movement. It's one that's been around for thousands of years. And besides believing in Jesus, there's one cool thing that we can all do as part of this major movement. We can start serving. Serving simply means doing something good for other people, something that helps or benefits someone else. And when we serve other people together in big and small ways, we're joining the movement Jesus started to bring something good into the world. But let's be honest. Sometimes serving isn't the easiest thing to do. Maybe we've served at a school event or at church or maybe even at home, but to us it felt like a chore. It was something we had to do, almost like a punishment. Or maybe we've never really thought about serving before. We simply don't know where to start or what to do, and the thought of trying to figure it out feels overwhelming. We might be really excited about serving, but we're just not sure where to start. Maybe we even feel like we're too young, or don't have enough time, or can't give any money. I know I felt that way. Serving seems like something we can only do when we get older, or maybe we've jumped into serving already. And when we did, we were really excited about it and loved helping others. But after showing up week after week to help in the children's ministry, or volunteer in our class, or tutor younger students after school, we don't feel the same excitement that we used to. Does that mean that we've given up on the movement? Or maybe serving just feels inconvenient to us. It takes a lot of work and time and effort, and honestly, we'd probably rather put our time and energy into something that's more fun. Maybe serving feels difficult for us because the reality is we have a lot going on in our lives. We have big needs ourselves. So how are we supposed to serve someone else when we're in need of some help and support too? See, so often we serve other people only when we think it's good or convenient for us. If it satisfies a requirement for school, or lets us go on a cool trip, or allows us to hang out with our friends, it's worth it. Serving is easier to choose when we see how it benefits us. When we think of serving that way, we're kind of missing the big picture. We're missing the movement that God is actually calling us to be part of. The good news for us is that we have a great example of what the movement of serving others can look like. And that's Jesus. If we want to learn about what serving is really supposed to be, there really isn't a better place to look than Jesus himself. The things he did and said and how he treated other people while he was on earth are the things that started the movement that we can still be part of today. One of the best examples of the way Jesus served others is found in the book of John. What's cool is that John was actually one of Jesus' closest friends and followers. John lived and walked and even served right beside Jesus while he was on earth. And that means that everything John wrote down about that time is something he saw or experienced himself. The moment we're going to look at today is one where Jesus actually went out of his way to serve the very people he was closest to. We join the story as Jesus and his disciples were gathered together for a meal to celebrate Passover. This was a pretty important holiday for them. It was a feast to remember the way that God was faithful to save and rescue his people from slavery in Egypt thousands of years ago. At this particular Passover, the disciples didn't realize that they were in their final hours with Jesus. The time was coming when he would be arrested and killed, and Jesus knew it. So as he gathered with his friends in these last moments, Jesus probably wanted to share something really important to him, something that would help his movement carry on. Here's what Jesus did. So he got up from the table, took off his robe, wrapped a towel around his waist, and poured water into a basin. Then he began to wash the disciples' feet, drying them with the towel he had around him. Okay, so maybe you're hearing and seeing this and you're thinking, this is weird. Jesus washed their feet? If being a part of this whole movement means that I have to do that, count me out. Well, let me just reassure you that I'm not about to ask you to literally wash somebody's feet. The act of washing somebody's feet was a little different back then. It was actually an act of service. At that time, people didn't wear shoes like you and I do now. In fact, people mostly wore sandals and would walk miles and miles in them on dirty roads. The result? Their feet were covered in things like dirt and animal poo. Don't even get me started on the smell. People's feet were so dirty and smelled so badly that it was normal back then to wash people's feet when they entered a house. Washing someone's feet was certainly not a glamorous job. In fact, it was a job that was saved for servants. But here, Jesus did it. The savior of the world, the leader of the movement, the one who literally had the power to come back from the dead. He was the one who went out of his way to wash the feet of his friends. Nobody saw it other than the disciples. If they hadn't written it down, nobody else would have ever known about it. This certainly wasn't an Instagram-worthy moment. Jesus didn't do it so that other people would see it and think he was amazing. He didn't do it because he had to. Jesus washed their feet for no other reason than to show them what serving others is really about. Jesus served by doing something he didn't have to in order to help someone else. Remember, these were some of Jesus' last moments with his friends. He could have taken that time to do just about anything, to give his friends instructions, to encourage them to keep going, to speak one last message. But Jesus chose instead to simply serve them. Why? Because it was important to him. Serving others is part of the movement that Jesus started all those years ago. It's part of the movement we're all invited to join today. Take a look at what Jesus told his disciples just after this. And since I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you ought to wash each other's feet. I have given you an example to follow. Do as I have done to you. In other words, Jesus was saying this: do something you don't have to do. Why? Because Jesus did it for us. It's part of what it means to follow him. It's part of the movement. He served his disciples this way, and because of that, they served others. Now here we are, thousands of years later, still talking about what Jesus did. How cool is that? Why? Because the movement is still going. It's something we're still invited to be part of today, to serve and love other people the way Jesus did for us. And we can see this happening all around us even today. I remember a few years ago, I was standing in line for a concert outside of an arena. There were a ton of people waiting in this line, and it was so hot outside. As I was standing there, I noticed a man who was homeless sitting on the ground right near this line. Just a few minutes after I noticed this man, I saw a girl in front of me in line step out of this long line and walk towards this man. She stepped out of the long line with all of her friends to not just go up to this man, but to sit with him and talk with him. There were thousands of people in this line passing by this man. But this girl, she chose to see him. She saw that he was alone and in need. And she continued to sit with him and talk with him, even after her friends had gone into the arena for the concert. That day, this girl served this man by sitting outside of the arena simply by seeing him. Just like Jesus didn't have to wash the feet of his disciples, the person I just told you about didn't have to serve others either. They didn't do it for the recognition or a pat on the back. They weren't expecting money or anything in return. They served when they didn't have to because Jesus called them, and all of us, to be part of the movement of doing good for other people. So when it comes to serving, start the way Jesus did. Do something you don't have to do. This week, we can join the movement by doing two things. First, look for a need. Look for opportunities to serve others. Look for an opportunity to do something you don't have to do for someone else. There are needs all around us. We just have to ask God to open our eyes to see them. Then meet the need. Once we see the need, Do something about it. Meet the needs you see at home, at school, with friends, with teammates, or with other people around you. Give what you have to serve them. It could be spending time with your siblings because you know they love hanging out with you, or doing chores for your parents without being asked, giving your time to someone by mowing their lawn, watching their kids, or inviting them to your house to hang out, donating your allowance to a good cause, showing kindness to someone who's new at school and in need of a friend. Whatever it is, make the step to meet the need, to join the movement, to serve, and not because you have to, but because you know Jesus did it for you first. So remember, when it comes to serving, do something you don't have to do. I know that this can be kind of scary to think about trying on your own, so why not start with your group? Groups are a place where you can talk about and even live out this faith stuff together. A place where you can lean on each other as you figure it out. They're a great place to talk about what it might look like for you to step out and serve, to join the movement together.
What a great reminder today that we're all invited to take part in Jesus' movement of serving others. Now listen, I know serving others can be difficult. Sometimes it feels like a chore, or it can even feel like we're being punished for something we did. Sometimes it can feel overwhelming because there's just so many different needs out there, especially if you think about, third world countries where families don't have enough food to eat or clean water to drink. Or maybe there was a time when we were excited about serving others, but now that feeling has kind of worn off and it just feels like a weekly task that you have to do. And there's some of you who are just like, you know what? Serving people isn't that fun, and it always takes away from time with my friends. And so I love the story from Scripture today when Jesus gathers his disciples for a final meal together and washes their feet. I mean, if I can be honest, if it was my last meal with my friends and I knew I was going to die a brutal death, washing their feet wouldn't have even crossed my mind. I'd be like, let's go to Chick-fil-A and buy all the food in the store, and then let's eat it. But Jesus, he doesn't do that. He does something so powerful. He didn't wash his disciples' feet for recognition or because he had to. He did it to show them what serving others is really about. That it's all about doing something you don't have to do. So let's do that this week. Let's do something we don't have to do. Maybe we could start by looking for a need or an opportunity to serve others and then meet that need and join the movement of serving others. Remember, we should serve not because we have to, but because Jesus modeled it for us and brings us into this life of serving others. Thanks for participating today, everyone. I hope you spent some time today as a family and talked through those discussion questions, and I hope you had a great conversation. Now, before you go, remember to post a photo of your family participating today in our LakePoint Junior High Facebook group, and you could be the proud winner of a Tim Hortons gift card. To close our time this morning, take the next 2 minutes to pray together as a family, and head to the LakePoint app to access our weekday devotionals that go along with our series. You'll find them in the Family Resources section, and you can also find the link in the video description right below me. Have a wonderful week, friends. We will see you next week, whether that's online or on site.